Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Arguably Correct. I'm your host, Lindsay. I've been reading Reddit stories. I have quite the selection here today, okay? But first, I want to thank you for coming to my channel and also encourage you to like and subscribe if you like what you see. If you don't, then just keep scrolling. No pressure. Okay. All right. Let me get started because this has taken me way too long to get into this today. I had to do this whole setup just a little like real life for everybody. This was not like this like an hour ago. So I made it work. I'm trying to roll with the punches here, keep this moving, keep recording episodes. So bear with me as I transform my guest bedroom into a little podcast studio. Shed room woman cave kind of deal. So I'm going to post behind the scenes of that whole transformation too on my TikTok, which is just at arguably correct. And then on Instagram, I'm also at arguably correct pod. So give me a little follow, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Okay, let's get into it. Enough. I can't get away from the am I the asshole threads. So, am I the asshole for punishing my daughter for saying that my wife is not a high school dropout success story? My 42 male, wife female, 39 female is a high school dropout, but obviously she is so much more than that. And never once did I ever give the fact that she has had less hours in a classroom than some other woman a second thought. This is a sore subject for me because peers would badger us about her getting a GED. My wife was already a busy stay-at-home mom, and my family business was made enough for the both of us. My wife didn't need a GED to be what she already was, funny, engaging, and despite her struggles with classroom-like learning, she was always open to listen and absorb information that I was excited about. Okay. In the end, I concluded they just used it as something to feel superior about over my wife. My son, Ben, 15 male, has unfortunately sunk neck deep into the concept of influencing. He is obsessed to the point where he has blown his allowance money on courses and influencer events that advertise lessons on how to build a following. It's gotten bad enough that I've considered changing the rules of his allowance to impose restrictions because these courses offer nothing of value except some false hope with all the buzzwords desired by their teen target audience. My daughter, 16 female, who is our oldest child, told us Ben had looked up laws about the age that he could drop out in Idaho. I asked Ben, and he replied that he knew enough about 10th grade classes to be showing his mom how he was doing his homework, writing his essays, and explaining concepts to her. And that if mom dropped out and that I accepted her dropping out, plus bounced ideas off her, then I was a hypocrite if I refused to let him drop out. This made everything very frustrating because I don't want my wife and I to deal with a son who was being pig-headed with unrealistic dreams. But obviously, I wasn't going to have Ben's situation be one where swipes are taken at my capable wife. That all exploded when my daughter decided to interject when I was trying to get through to Ben. Ben said, "Mom dropped out and does just fine." And my daughter said her mom is not a dropout success story because dropout successes gain the skills to create good situations for themselves without school. But her mom's situation is determined mostly by other people's decisions/emotions. That was so out of line that I had to send her to her room and asked that she give me her iPad and phone. She could use my computer in my office to do assignments because she was clearly hearing this argument from somewhere. My wife luckily hasn't been involved in these conversations, so she didn't hear this, and hopefully never will. Am I the asshole? I have so many thoughts. My first immediate thought is that the wife has I'm sure of this, the wife has said to her daughter plenty of times, "You're not going to be like me. You're going to be better than me. You need to do better for yourself. I'm not a success story. I rely on your father. He provides for me." That is definitely the mom's story. And listen, if that works for her, that's great. But to not have a GED, I don't even know if you could work at McDonald's without a GED. So hot take, well, my hot take. It's irresponsible for the mother to not have a GED. If something happened to that husband, even if he does have a life insurance and a savings and whatever, I don't know, they don't disclose that, so we have to go with the context given. Even if he does have all that, like, anything can only last for so long. You cannot rely on anyone, especially not just the man, it's her husband, but to rely on that solely, to not even have a GED that you can't get a job at McDonald's, how are you going to provide for your children? You have children. hot take, that's irresponsible. You need to be able to provide and be the parent, the providing parent if something happens to this man. Also, it worries me that he's not more worried about that. Like, what if something happens to him and you're not concerned that your wife can't provide for your children? Maybe they're millionaires, billionaire. I don't know. It doesn't sound like it. I doubt it, but also, I'm going back to the point where I'm saying that the mother and the daughter have had conversations. This is not, it doesn't even sound like the daughter's being like mean. She's just saying, mom's not a success story. She's not, because she doesn't provide for herself. She didn't drop out of high school and go do other things after and make this beautiful life for herself. She got married. She's a stay-at-home mom. That's all she's ever been, and that's fine. No shade, but in this situation, it's a little rough. And then to say to the son who wants to be an influencer, I mean, which, hey, they make a lot of money these days, make a lot of money. Don't get it twisted. Probably not even easy. I mean, the grass is not always greener is my point. Sometimes a nice little 9-to-5 corporate job, whatever, it's great. In and out, boom, boom, benefits, 401k, the whole nine, okay? So I think the point here is, though, like, maybe the dad doesn't see it in him. Also, that could be it too. Sometimes parents, like, no, when you have a young daughter or something and she's like, I'm gonna be a dancer, blah, blah, but she's really bad at it, it's not getting any better. Sometimes you gotta say, hey kid, get your nose in the books, you know? I do think that the dad is an asshole. I do, because I think also, like, to take everything away from her, how about have a conversation? Let's have a family meeting. Let's have a conversation. Hiding it from your wife, I don't think that's the route that you should take in this situation, especially because I have a really firm opinion that the wife and daughter have had conversations, and the wife is telling the daughter, don't be like me. Be better than me. You need to be better than me. I bet. Let's read a comment or two. I love reading the comments and seeing if I'm on the right track or if I'm not. Not that I care, but usually am. Sometimes right, but I'm always arguably correct. All right, let's see. First comment. Because she was clearly hearing this argument from somewhere. She might have heard it from her mother. Honestly, your wife may be the better parent to discuss this with your son. What a great suggestion. I don't have children, so I'm just speaking from third-party Reddit reader. Does she think his dropping out of high school is a good idea? And your desire to protect her from your pig-headed son, you may not be giving her credit for being better able to deal with him than you are. I agree with that too. Why is it up to him to make all the parenting decisions? I don't know. That's kind of weird. Your wife probably is very capable, and being capable, she may very well think that if she hasn't been linked to you, getting a start in life without a high school education could have been very, very difficult. She may think that if she'd picked someone other than you, things would not have gone so well for her. And you evidently think the same if you hadn't picked her, so you were both blessed with each other. In private, tell your wife about Ben's plans. Ask her how she thinks this should best be approached. Also consider that your daughter's goal was probably not to slam her mother, but to get Ben to see something that is quite true, which is that Ben isn't going to find an ambitious, capable woman who wants a stay-at-home husband to tide him over until his schemes pan out. Okay, close enough. Someone says, I agree. It is likely the girl's observations come at least partly from conversations with her mother, who probably realizes that her economic situation would be very different without a spouse who could and would support the family. Agree. Someone says, I'm also really bothered by OP's insistence that people pushing his wife to get her GED to do it to feel superior. OP, anyone who cares a whit about your wife would push her to get a GED. If you were hit by a bus tomorrow, I would hope you'd have a life insurance and savings for your wife to use to get by for at least a few years. But after that, or if you just left her and refused to pay alimony, she literally would have trouble getting a job at McDonald's or anything with benefits. She could house clean, and that's about it. It's not high paying. It's not in her best interest for you to defend her against good advice. It's in her best interest for you to look out for her best interests. Make sure you have a big life insurance policy. Make sure you have plenty of savings and a fully funded retirement account for the both of you. Get her tested for ADHD and learning disabilities, and get her help if she has anything that prevents her from success in learning. Then encourage her to get her GED already. I mean, I just didn't like the way that was worded. Get her tested. Who? Okay. I get the point, but what a crass way to say that. Anyway, moving on. What happened? Am I the asshole for not lying about thinking the way my sister met her fiance was not funny and cute? I'm 19 female. My sister is 21. She's engaged to a guy I haven't met too many times because of the pandemic and both of us going to school in different countries. This was posted 4 years ago. Just once on my sister's birthday and once on Christmas. He's 30 or 31. Every interaction I've ever had with him has been fine but brief. Okay, so OP is 19. The sister who's dating this guy is 21 and he's 30 or 31. Actually, she's engaged to this guy. Okay. On New Year's Eve, my sister's fiance was working, so she came to a party my aunt threw. At one point, one of my older relatives asked how they met, and my sister told them the story, which is basically that my sister was driving in front of him, and I guess she wasn't going fast enough, so he started driving really aggressively, tried to pass her on a double yellow, and ended up causing a fender bender, trying to avoid getting hit by oncoming traffic. What a first impression. When she gets out of her car, he starts screaming at her and berating her. She starts crying. He feels bad. Asks her out on a date and tells her he'll pay for everything, deductible repairs. He even said he'd pay for the first year of payments if she needed a new car. He's loaded, is in parentheses. Ew. She took him up on the date and the rest is history. So this is where I might be the asshole and what I'm asking for your judgment on. After she was done, one of my cousins was like, oh my gosh, that's such a cute story. My name, Jen, isn't that so funny? So while I would never tell her my opinion unsolicited, I also didn't want to lie, and I didn't want my 16-year-old cousin, who was also there, to think anything about this was cute or funny. So I told the truth and said I thought it was a little alarming and that I hoped his road rage was a one-time thing. One of my aunts agreed with me, and I made sure to add that I'm sure it was a one-time thing because whenever I met him, he seemed very pleasant and my sister was clearly very happy, and the conversation moved on. Later on, my mom said that I should have just lied and said the story was cute, or just laughed and said yeah or something. I told her I felt uncomfortable lying and that I did think the story was alarming, and had my sister told me the story at any other time, I would have said the same. My mom said I caused the scene and embarrassed my sister and that I'm the asshole here. I don't think I caused the scene, but I did answer the question honestly. Am I the asshole for not lying and saying the story was cute? Note, I'm not trying to break any rules here, so I want to make it clear I'm not looking for relationship advice of any kind. I'm specifically looking if I'm the asshole responding the way I did. First of all, good on this 19-year-old. She's 19. For having the foresight to respond in a way that she didn't want to negatively affect her 16-year-old cousin, which she wanted to be a good role model. She didn't want to say, yeah, no, this was funny. It's cute when guys cut you off in traffic, drive aggressively, cause a fender bender, and then scream, berate her, make her cry, and then ask her on a date. She says yes, and it's all okay because he paid for everything. So she is just that's a 19, good on her. Gen Zs, listen, some things about these Gen Z kids, it's very refreshing, actually. And I don't think they get enough credit, their generation. The whole Gen Z stare thing is weird, but there's a lot of good ones out there that have such a mature sense about them. I don't know. Moving on from that before I get attacked in the comments. Yeah, I don't think that's funny or cute. And why the mother isn't alarmed? Like, no way. No way. I don't know if it's a Northeast thing. Being from the Northeast, you're a little bit more aggressive. Things are a little bit more rough and tough, fast-paced up here. That this shit would not fly at all, but I mean, yeah. Let's see what people in the comments have to say. Okay, this first one. Not the asshole. It's not a cute story. He could have killed someone, and he yelled at her like a psycho. You shouldn't have to lie about it. Fair. Agreed. When will this cliche bad boy romanticization end? No, definitely not the asshole. OP, do not feed that myth that reckless psychos with anger issues are sweet teddy bears deep down. See, I didn't even think this was like a cliche bad boy thing. You sound like that don't know how to drive and you're causing accidents. If he was a solid dude, he wouldn't have caused an accident. He would have just maneuvered or something. I don't know. That would have gave me the ick that he caused an accident. Goodbye. I'm not getting in the car with you. Absolutely not. No, you are not the asshole, and I hope your sister finds someone else because you don't need a man that doesn't know how to drive. They're embarrassing enough as it is. At least find you one that knows how to drive and can back up into a parking spot, you know? Moving on. Ooh. All right, this one is, am I overreacting? It's advice needed. Am I overreacting? I'm expected to contribute to a bachelorette weekend that I'm not attending. Okay. I've been invited to a bachelorette week. We have a screenshot. I've been invited to a bachelorette weekend for a new Labor Day weekend. Wait, we're going to restart that. Okay. Restarting. Okay, moving on. Am I overreacting? This is advice needed. I'm expected to contribute to a bachelorette weekend that I'm not attending. We do have a screenshot, but let me read the post first. I've been invited to a bachelorette weekend for a new friend's Labor Day weekend about 45 minutes away from me. 2 nights at a rented house. I told the host that I will not be able to attend the weekend since it's close to me, I may be able to meet them out for dinner and drinks. She told me there may be a small contribution expected. I asked for details, and this is what I'm told. Am I overreacting considering just saying no to the whole weekend? Is this a normal expectation for a bachelorette? So the screenshot says, the contribution will go towards any time that you spend at the rented house and it be decorated for the celebration, snacks and non-alcoholic drinks, gift bags, group gift for Joanna, a hat or clothing item. Official plans and amount will depend on the amount of people attending, how long they're going to stay, etc. Plans will adjust depending on RSVPs. I have multiple plans that depend on that. No pressure at all, but just sharing what I have in mind. That's the only screenshot, unfortunately. I need more than that. I mean, how much are they asking for? Is it $20? Is it $200? You know? Yeah, someone says, I think it depends how much they ask for. $20 for a hat / t-shirt and toward a group gift and whatever else, no big deal and not really worth fighting about in my opinion. But if it's much more than that, I just pass altogether then. Well, yeah, I do think it's we don't have enough details here. A new friend's Labor Day weekend. This was posted 7 hours ago. All right, so Labor Day isn't for another couple months, quite a few months. It's in September. It's April. So you got 5 months on the. Honestly, if this is weighing on you this much to come on Reddit 5 months in advance and post about it, just see yourself out. Don't go, because this might be too much for you. If it's a small contribution and this is your friend, it's not unreasonable. Like if I was saying, hey, I can't go, I'm gonna pop in, we're gonna go to dinner and drinks, but I can't stay at the house. I have, what did she say it was? Work. I have work, so I can't make it, but we're doing all these things for her and we bought gifts and I'm gonna contribute. It's my friend. So, her saying plans will, now her very, very vague plans I'm okay with because she's talking 5 months ahead. People haven't even responded, like the RSVPs aren't even due yet. So the person sending the text doesn't have much info to work with. So this person needing every little detail 5 months in advance is pretty unrealistic. And that's not how this works. So I don't even know what the question was. Advice needed. What is your advice? Is this a normal expectation for a bachelorette? Yeah, I would say this is very normal. And I don't think you're overreacting though, considering saying no to the whole weekend. I think that's well within your rights. And if you're not into it, if this is too much for you, which I understand to a point. I hate planning things that far in advance. I don't know how I'm going to feel 5 months from now on a Sunday for your friggin' wedding or baby shower. I get it. I'm not disagreeing, but this is why I have been really focusing on just saying no to things up front. I'm sick of stressing myself out about it. You just got to say no. Just say no. No, don't always say no. You should go and make memories and be with loved ones. But sometimes if you have to come to Reddit 5 months in advance, say no. Moving on. Am I overreacting / overthinking? Talking on the phone with manager for quite a while. So this was an outgoing call. There's a screenshot of an outgoing call for 4 hours and 44 minutes. 444? Okay. Would this be considered as inappropriate? I haven't been working here for a long time, precisely 1 month and 10 days. I, female 25, and manager approximately 29 to 35. I won't discuss much of what was said in the call. So generally speaking, would a nearly 5 hour call cause concern? From the beginning, it was work related, and then about an hour later, it went more or so personal. In my own general rule of thumb, I like to keep work / business and personal life separate. Reason is because where I work, people do seem like kind of people to follow any gossip and rumors. So to eliminate that, I try to keep to myself and not engage into personal affairs. I still intend to keep myself in line and not further overstep, as in the possibility of it happening again, no. Maintaining a brief and only work-related topics that are no longer than 35 minutes minimum First of all, you know nothing. You know absolutely nothing about your own general rule of thumb about keeping work and business and personal life separate. You spent 4 hours and 44 minutes on the phone with your manager and you said only the first one had to do at work. So, you don't follow your own rule. You should. Because that's crazy. That's crazy. What do you even talk? I don't even talk to my... I don't talk to anybody for that long. That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. That's inappropriate. I mean, I need more context on what was talked about. I need to see. Yeah, someone says, one of the top comments says, I mean, what was discussed here definitely matters here. 5 hours of combo implies it was definitely more than just small talk. Yeah. Also, is this person just talking 5 hours straight? You had to be engaging. We're not getting the full story, and I hate when we don't get the full story. I agree, she may think of it as a friendly conversation, but first of all, the manager is supposed to maintain a level of professionalism. They should not be on the phone with their employee for 4 hours and 44 minutes because... in the employee's defense, they don't want to step on toes. It's their manager. It's somebody that's above them and in a position of authority. So no, we're not going to do that here. But I mean, hang up the phone, girl. 4 hours, 44 minutes. You know what you could do in 4 hours and 44 minutes? Oh my. No, so I don't think you're overreacting or overthinking. I think that's weird. Don't do it again. That's my suggestion to you. Don't do it again. If this job means a lot to you, I mean, stick with it. I'm not saying give it up, but if you're new here, yeah, 1 month and 10 days, keep an eye on this situation. If this gets like a little worse, if you want to go down the HR route, you're entitled to that. I'd just get a new job because it's not worth it. Okay, moving on. Am I the asshole for leaving my best friend's birthday party early because I was a B-list guest? Throwaway for privacy. Though this is a pretty specific incident, and anyone who knows the situation will probably be able to identify me anyway. I, 29 female, have been good friends with Sally, 30 female, since we were 8 years old. We were inseparable throughout high school, but went to different colleges. I visited her a few times each year, and she'd visit me, and we'd always meet up at Christmas and summer breaks. After we graduated, I moved about a 3-hour drive from where she moved to. We still caught up often. As normally happens, we established our new professional and social lives, drifted apart, but whenever we caught up, it was like no time had passed. We were there for each other whenever we needed it. When she got married at 25, I was a bridesmaid. I declined maid of honor because I was concerned with the long commute. I couldn't do all the maid of honor duties required/expected. She drove to my place to support me when my father had a stroke. I stayed with her when she found out her ex-husband cheated on her and she filed for divorce. I always figured that even though life is taking us in different directions, we're always there for each other. Now to her birthday. She turned 30 last week and had a huge party this past weekend. Since it was a milestone birthday, she had it at a banquet hall, all catered, DJ, etc. It was at night, so I booked a hotel, drove up, and would drive back home the next day. When I arrived, I was ushered into a small room with 4 tables and about 10 other people. There was a portable TV on a trolley with a stream of the party in the bigger room. One of the guests told me Sally invited more than the main hall could accommodate, and she hoped a few people would RSVP no, and we'd all fit in. But only 1 or 2 people RSVP'd no, so the venue opened a second room for the excess guests. I saw in the stream new people arriving after I did, so I knew I was clearly relegated to the B-lister room and wasn't brought there because the main room was already filled up. So I left after 15 minutes and they took my gift with me. The next day, as I was preparing to check out of the hotel, Sally called and asked why I didn't show. Apparently she came to the leftovers room to mingle about 30 minutes after I left and noticed I wasn't there. I told her I did attend, but I didn't realize I'd be watching a stream of her party instead of attending it, which I could have done at home. She asked if I wanted to catch up for lunch, and I can give her my gift then, but I told her I needed to get back home because I had plans for the afternoon. Cue the Instagram story about how people who claim to love her don't show up, and she can't help that so many people wanted to celebrate her. During my drive home, her mother left a voicemail that she was very disappointed in me. But I'm here, like, I'm supposed to be one of your best friends, and I got the leftover experience. Did I overreact? Am I the asshole here? No, this is a case of you're probably one of her closest friends, and she's like, she's not gonna not talk to me anymore. I don't need to impress. She'll be fine. She knows the other really close people, in my life in that room. So she'll be comfortable in there, maybe. I don't know if that was the case. That's an assumption. But I think this is like a common case of when there's people super close to you, you tend to, they'll take the brunt of the situation for you because you're super close and they know you the best and they want the best, that kind of thing. So, no, you're not the asshole. I mean, I probably wouldn't have left, honestly. I would have just made the best of it, but you're not the asshole. I mean, you could do whatever you want. I'm not good at these Am I the Asshole posts because I'm like, yeah, you might be the asshole, but I agree with you. Like, I don't ever really have a firm. Maybe that'll be my next. I need to find asshole ones and see if I agree with them because maybe I'm also an asshole and this is part of the problem here. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. But I think I want to look at some more harsh ones and see where my opinion, because these are kind of up for interpretation. These are not. Also, you definitely need more context for every one of the stories that I've read. You need more context for, but they're interesting to read. So thank you for tuning in to another episode of Arguably Correct. I really appreciate it. Make sure you like and subscribe. Please follow me on TikTok at Arguably Correct, and on Instagram, it's Arguably Correct Pod. So stay tuned. Eventually, I'm going to have a schedule for all of my episodes. I will be more organized and I'll have everything posted and it will be nice. But for now, I'm just going to keep posting episodes because I'm just starting out. So please stick with me and I appreciate you. Have a good night.